I'm Brian. Welcome to Build a Place. In this project, we'll be unboxing, setting up, adding a custom back gauge, and making a couple bends with this Harbor Freight 12-inch shop press brake attachment. Let's go to work. Let's open this box up, see what we got inside. There's the important instruction manual. We'll need to read that a little bit. That's always important to know the safety features. Wow, it's in a box, in a box, in a box. Just going to open it up real quick, look everything over. The first box is the upper die, along with some tools. That's for assembling it. The lower die. The final piece all the way down the bottom. Well, we got a piece here. Here's one of the vertical rods. There's another vertical, I guess it would be called a guide. We have our base. So, wanted to put the square on there and see what kind of angle. Make sure these are 90 degrees. Well, it's not a 90 degree. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but it's less than 90 degrees. I measured this upper die, and I have written down the upper die measures 82 degrees angle, and then I did the same thing on the lower die. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this. I'm trying to line up the camera the best I can. It's probably going to be a shadow. But this is less than 90 degrees. This come up to 86 degrees from what I measured. Now, I could be off a little bit, but it's definitely not a 90 degrees. So let's start putting this thing together. So put the washers on these hex screws. And we'll line this all up good. Put the screws in. This is pretty straightforward. They gave you a wrench to tighten up these screws. Let's get it kind of tight. And then the guide rods. Maybe I'll just put it up on his end a little bit like this. Line it up best I can. Install the nut on the back. Finger tight for now. The other nut off. Line everything up. And this is a 19 millimeter wrench to use to tighten that up. Pretty snug. Or get it nice and snug. Might have to hold it a little bit. Still has a little bit of film on here, but I don't think it's going to hurt anything. I'm going to put some light grease on there when I get ready to use it. And it's pretty simple. Just drop it down. It's going to rock on the table because the fasteners on the back. And then put the upper die in. It should line right up. It's got some fairly strong return springs. To modify this brake attachment, I want to use a router guide. And just when I bought it straight off the shelf, I put some extra springs in it to make it work a little better, but it's just a router edge guide. And the plan is, if you look at it right now, that's flat on the base, but I want to bring it so this guide edge is halfway up. So this guide edge is 7/8 of an inch. So what I'm going to need to do is bring this up. I think I'm going to go 7/16 of an inch up, so I hit the center of that. So if it's there, it's flush. So I need to come up 7/16 inch up and then add the diameter of the rod, or half the diameter of the rod. So it's 7/16 plus 3/16 since the rod is 3/8. So that's 7/16 and 3/16. That's 10/16. So that's 5/8 of an inch. I'll need to have a hole 5/8 of an inch up in my adapter piece that I'm going to be designing here real soon. So that is what's going to hold that at that height. So I'm going to get on the CAD system and I'm going to model up a part, a 3D part that's going to get mounted to here, an adapter, so that this router edge guide can be mounted to this brake attachment. So then once that's there, then this thing can slide back and forth. You can pick out whatever distance you want from the center of the die to this back gauge. So you can make, bends that are repeatable with a lot of good accuracy, because once you have the first bend, once you set this up for a bend, you can make 100 bends and it's going to work perfect. So the first thing to do is just going to put these blocks so that try to keep them flush with the end. And I put these blocks of wood there to kind of give it some support to hold it. Make sure all the rods are all the way against the edge of or the side of this lower die. And I determined that 2.5 inches approximately from each edge is where we want this to be. So it's centered. It doesn't have to be exactly centered, but if you have it close, it makes it good. I don't think it's going to really matter if it's off a little bit. In my opinion, I don't think it's going to matter, as long as the holes, these holes are in the right place. This is the most important. So now we have it set to where we want it. I have a transfer punch. This has a point on the end, and I'm going to just put it in the first hole. It's kind of a little bit on the tight side. Just put a slight tap on it just to put a mark on the base. This one don't want to go in. So that should give me 2 marks. Didn't need to push it hard. You'll find that a lot of times it's 3D printed parts. They do a great job on it. Sometimes the tolerance is off a little bit, but the nice thing, if you make the hole a little bit smaller, you can drill it out to whatever size. So now we got that done. We can release the clamps, get this out of the way. You're not going to be able to see it with any camera views there, but there are 2 small punch marks that are here that I'm going to use as a guide. I'll break out a bigger center punch and re-punch those and make it a little bit bolder. And take it over and drill it. I have quarter 20 taps. I have starter, plug, and bottom. I'll need the starter and the plug. That's the reason why I went with 1/4 inch, because I already had a complete set. Tap drill for the quarter 20 braided hole. Sticks right on. Simple. Put some food on there. I determined that I wouldn't be able to tap this from the top side, so I ended up doing it from the bottom here, because I would be hitting these vertical pieces, the guides for the upper die. So got my starter tap in, and I'm trying to get as square as I can. So I start a nice straight tapped hole. And it seems to be doing fairly well. So I'll do this one, and I can use the starter tap to take the threads all the way down since it's a fairly thin metal. Then I'll do the other one, and we'll be ready to mount those blocks. After bolting this blocks down, I saw that the head of the bolt hit the guide edge on the router guide, so I'm going to have to make some modifications to that so that bolt is below. Using a bandsaw, I cut a notch in there to allow for another. Bolt is definitely going to go a lot further through, so you could probably use a shorter bolt, but I'm going to modify this on the model, and I'll put it on the sketch also, this modification. So let's start this again. I figure we'd be bending metal by now instead of modifying. Now, if I would have modeled the whole thing, the bender and everything, then I would have seen that, but not modeling everything, just making the little bracket, or making the little adapter piece. I missed that. 7/16 inch wrench is what you need. Oh, turn the right direction. Then we can put our router guide in, and then make sure it's bottomed out, completely bottomed out on both of the rods. And those rods still got nice and tight. Setting this press up in my, this is a 20-ton Harbor Freight shop press. Just kind of line everything up as close as you can. I have these screws, they're all backed off all the way. So when I go down into the opening there, I'm not going to hit one of the screws. I'm going to try to keep it lined up, this rod to go straight down in there. It's going to take forever. Okay, there it goes now. The upper die is starting to move. I'm just going to finger tight these for now. And it looks close to being in the center. I don't think it really matters that be direct in the center. Tighten these up with the wrench was provided with the press. So you don't need to break out your own tool. So that's secured. I put the this apron down 3 pinholes on my press. For this bend, I'm using a piece of 10 gauge mild steel that's 3.5 inches wide, and just going to put it in the bender, and this thing's going to take a while to come down, but this is the first bend. I got it all the way against the back gauge. Get it so the upper die just touches the metal. And then I have a angle indicator or digital protractor. Put that on there. We'll zero that out. And we're going to try to bend. This will be a 90-degree bend. So the protractor should say 45, but I've found that I got to go just a little over 45 to get a 90. So I got that far, and then we'll just turn the protractor around that way and read that direction until we get to, it's like 46 degrees is what it comes out pretty much right in there. Just under 47 has been working, but sometimes it doesn't give me exact. So we'll see how it goes. Release this. And we'll look at the bend. It looks under. No. Yes, it is under. I don't know if you can be able to see that in the light. But it's under, so we'll have to go Bend a little bit more. Okay, 47.8. See what we got now. Now we're slightly overbent, so we're going to have to bend that back a little bit. I don't know if you'll be able to see that on the camera. Let's see, I could probably get it there now. Overbent, so I have to straighten that one back up. That's the improved Harbor Freight 12-inch shop press brake attachment in action. If you like this demo, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to Build a Place, and leave comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.